female bodybuilding channel. And JB,
Hello.
today we have the girl that stole the show at the Nationals, Haley Brake. Is it how
Hello.
you pronounce it, correct?
Yes, perfect.
So we were watching the Nationals, and we were looking, and we were looking, and through the screen, even though it was a horrendous stream, you came on, and we didn't recognize you because we saw you on Instagram before with some crazy legs updates, kind of like a month ago, I think. And then we saw the stream, and we're like, whoa. And our first reaction was, this is the best athlete we saw in the entire lineup.
Yeah.
And we posted it in our female bodybuilding Instagram stories. And with 4,000 votes, the audience had 80% you. And this was before.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
This was before the call outs. And remember, these are pros, regular guys, judges, fans, and other girls voting. And it all had you as the best athlete. And fast forward, you won your class with a really good girl. JB, do you remember the girl next to her who had really good condition and she was big?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Remember her name, Haley?
So it's Juno.
Juno.
Yeah.
You not only did you beat her, you also beat the women bodybuilding overall winner, who is the women's physique girl. So, but you didn't beat her, making you the true overall champion of the historic national. So, Haley, talk to us a little bit about your experience this weekend before we go into your backstory. How was that reaction of winning the whole thing?
It's barely synced in, to be completely honest with you. I would say we came into it, I was thinking first national show, right? So I was hoping
first ever national shows.
Correct. So yeah, I've never even qualified for nationals before. This is my first time qualifying. And I qualified back in November. So not that long ago. It was about 3 weeks between shows. And you'll get a kick out of this. Actually, Juno is from Kansas City as well. And I competed with her and she beat me actually here in Kansas City.
She beat you, really? Were you off? Were you prepping? How was that? Why did she beat you there? Was it a different look or what?
It was a different look for sure. Sorry to cut you off. It was a different look. So this is our first season that I've been with Justin, and I signed with him about December of last year.
That's
this is our first,
correct?
Correct. This is our first season together. This was my first prep with him. That was my first peak with him as well. My legs were off 100% in the first show. Had, even just after prejudging, had a lot of edema, just a lot of swelling. With the situation backstage too, we were walking up and down a bunch of stairs. Not to make excuses, it's just explanations at this point. But it was our first peak. We did what on paper should have worked, and it just did not work for me.
Okay, yeah. It was your first prep together though, correct?
Correct. Yep. Whole first season together.
Yeah. So you lost against her, and then you saw her again at the Nationals. And what were you thinking then? Because she was big and she was hard. What were you thinking?
She was. I actually saw her. Well, one of the girls we roomed together for this show. It was Jessica Kolick. So we roomed together, and we saw her actually at tanning, and just made a cute little comment. She said, "Oh my goodness, that girl over there, she's huge. I hope I'm not competing against her." And I looked over, and I had recognized, because we both have tattoos. And I looked and I was like, that's Juno. I was like, I remember her. And I was like, she beat me a few weeks ago.
You were better at this show. Was the legs better? What was the difference? What was the difference? The conditioning, the fullness, what do you think was the difference?
Conditioning for sure. The conditioning just wasn't quite what we wanted to be in Kansas City. I lost another 8 to 10 pounds for this show.
Wow. Okay, yeah. And
it was all leg. I think it was all leg.
No, JB also, when you saw the stream, he texted me and said, wow, look at the waist on this girl. And Haley, I think she was really good, but your waist, it was like super tiny. Is what we considered old school women's physique. You know, it should be a difference between women's bodybuilding and women's physique. It's two different classes. And you have that real women's physique type of look, tiny waist, nice shape. beautiful legs and great structure and balance. So I think it was the right call and right decision. And but when you won the overall, though, because we didn't see the finals because they didn't show the finals, sadly, there was no replay or nothing out. We just saw the prejudging. And how did the overall go? Were you confident? Were you always in the middle during the overall, or how did that go?
So I believe for overall, there's just three of us.
Okay.
And I think they just stacked us 1, 2, 3, and I was all the way. If I was on stage, I was all the way on the left.
Okay.
So there was really no like moving around. They kind of just put us all out there, and they kind of just posed us. Then we did a little pose down. I believe one of the girls, I don't know if you saw it on my story, I reshared a little video of the three of us, and we were, I believe that's the overall girls or the winners that we were going for the overall in that video.
We saw it. Yeah.
So yes. So it's like a quick little thing. I really didn't. Everyone else had told me like, hey, like Ivy picked for the overall, Ivy picked for the overall. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, everyone looks incredible.
Yeah, it's a good lineup. The girls brought conditioning in the overall, that's for sure.
They did. Everyone looked beautiful. Everyone brought it for the most part. Like I was happy to be up there.
And then
let
when
alone for the overall.
But you were already, one quick question. Usually at shows, when you go to the overall, you don't even know if you're going to turn pro. Now you already knew because all the girls that wins their class gets the pro card. So how is that going on to the overall? Because usually the girls and the guys are like, you have to win the overall, but you were already a pro. Does that take away some pressure or?
A little bit, because it felt like you already achieved a goal, right? So you came for a pro card, you already had a pro card. At that point, you're already on like cloud nine.
Yeah, of course.
So being an overall kind of sweetens the deal. And I, to be fair, really didn't understand the gravity of how amazing and cool it is to be an overall at a national level. And it really didn't sink in until, like I said, the past couple days where I've been talking about it with Justin and just like talking about it with our co-coach Jess as well. Like they told me like, hey, this is a big deal. You can celebrate it. You can be happy about it because it's a huge deal to win it overall at a national level.
But as you know, winning the national or pro card is one thing, but now, as you know, now the serious business happening as there's a lot of pro cards, right? I think it was like 8 pro cards. And no, how many pro cards were it? 6, 7?
So they gave out top 2. So first and second place got a pro card in every class.
Yeah.
So I believe we had 3 classes, right? So 2, 4, 6 pro cards.
Yeah.
So what happens now? What's the mindset? We've interviewed some girls that got the pro card. We don't see them again. Then we get some of them turning out to be Saraviegas. So what's your mindset? What's your goals? What's the future for you?
I'm definitely not done. Like I said, I kind of came in not even expecting to get all of this. So in my mind, I was never even the top of the barrel for amateur. Okay. So now that we're already at the bottom of the barrel again, right?
Well,
so I have no problem with that at all. Like we're kind of planning on 2026 being my pro debut. Okay. We're not quite sure what show, but I will stay in women's physique also. I'm not going to move up quite yet.
Not yet. No.
We may not. But I love the look of Sarah Villegas. And I feel like now that I've kind of looked at some pictures, I can see that being the way I go with it. If I can just pack on some more density, get leaner, I think it's very doable. I would love to go to the Olympia someday. That'd be amazing. And I have a lot of years, I think, still left in the sport, being 27. I turned 27 this summer even. So
you're young. That's great. Quickly, how did you fall in love with bodybuilding or physique? 27, it's very young to win the pro card in women's physique. Usually the girls are a little bit like starting of their 30s, but you did it really early. How is your road to fall in love with bodybuilding? How did you fall in love with it?
So yeah, I actually started back in high school. Okay. I did a bikini show. I competed in bikini at 17, right?
How did that go?
I didn't do super good. I got 4th place.
You were too big, I hope.
I was really tiny. I think my stage weight was 112 or 115.
Wow. Okay.
And you're tall. You're not that short. So that's low.
So yes, I'm 5'5" and an 1/8 to be specific. That's what I measured in height wise when they did nationals. So yeah, really tiny to start with. My stage weight this time around, even losing the extra weight, I was about 140 on the dot. I think 140.2.
Now, You're
Yes,
140 in the
now.
States now. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good weight though.
Yeah.
140 for women's physique, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did bikini, and then how did that go further? Like, how did you move up the ranks?
Yes. So I remember doing that show, and that posing and all like the heels, everything like that is very cutesy, very, very cute.
Yeah, it's very.
And that's not quite the category I ever foresee myself being. Like, I didn't see myself staying there. I had always kind of followed bodybuilding then at that point, once I realized, there's more than just bikini to be in the division to compete in.
You didn't know there was more than bikini, because JB
Not
once
really.
ran a campaign against bikini. He had a campaign where he wanted to boycott bikini because it was ruining bodybuilding. But you didn't even know that there was
Not
nothing
really.
else than bodybuilding.
I had known, so I knew there
A
was
bikini.
men's like that could compete, and then I just saw on Instagram. That's all you saw. I saw bikini. Wellness wasn't a thing yet, so I saw
No.
bikini, and then maybe a little bit of figure girls.
Yeah, a
And
little
at
bit.
that point, I was like, you know what? I really love the look of more muscle,
Yeah.
and I love the training. I fell in love with the training, and so
Mm.
kind of the two and two. Once you fall in love with training, lifting heavy,
Yeah.
like you kind of just naturally get bigger.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And so I did a figure show back during COVID as well. So I've only done altogether, including nationals, 4 shows.
4 shows, yeah. Well, that's not a lot.
So one bikini, one figure back in like 2020, 21. And then the one physique show this year and at nationals.
So that means we have genetics to become something great, and you just won the nationals, and now we're going to take a year off. And do you have an outside job, or do you do anything? Well, I would hope so, since you've not been a pro yet. What do you do outside of bodybuilding?
So for job wise, I do work remotely right now for a clinic. So in healthcare, I am looking to kind of phase out of that. I'm not super cut, I think, to sit all day. I don't like that.
Okay.
But I did put that on hold to kind of explore that avenue while I was in prep. It's something I've been thinking about all year, but I really want to focus on being successful in prep. And I didn't think starting a new job was going to be quite the right move. And I don't think it would have been. I also bartend and waitress and everything in the evenings, also just for a little extra money, and it does help significantly.
Yeah. How do the guys react when you come out big, freaky, and vascular doing the bartending? Is it popular or is it not?
It's really not.
Oh, really? It's not popular.
I very often get either called like a transgender or I was like, usually they're not, it's not feeling like a jab, but sometimes it does. Like, I've had a guy come up to me and say, hey, you remind me of my transgender daughter. And it's like, well, at that point, like, why couldn't you just say, remind you of your daughter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they'll ask me if I am a boy.
Yeah. Well, in one way, it's kind of a compliment, because that means your training is going well. But on the other part, it's probably it's tough when they see, because we see it a lot on Instagram, a lot of these negative comments, but usually it's not in real life to you. So how do you react to that? Does it, do you think about it later, or it doesn't really phase you, or how does it do for you?
I really don't. Like, I've been getting it on and off, I think, since I've done that figure show. Like, so for the past like 5 years, I've been getting comments like that. But it is super confusing, because then on the other hand, people that kind of know the sport, or they just have seen me for so long, they're like, I don't know why you get those comments. Like, I think you're pretty. So it's all subjective. And at that point, the people that tell me it too, like, it's like old men. So
and who's probably not in their best shape themselves, I would imagine.
no. And like women, I don't think I've had a woman actually ever say something like that. It's always been men. Women are always really nice, or they'll ask me like, you look really lean, or I love your arms. Like, I wish I had your arms. Like, they're all been really sweet. 99% of the time.
Well, that's sad to hear, and especially when you're not. You're very feminine for women's physique. You don't have any type of side effects. You know what I mean? Like, so it's really there's really nothing going on with you that we can see. So it's sad, but well. A year off with Justin. Talk to us a little bit. He's very passionate. JB and myself, we've seen him. He's always it seems like he's very into his athletes. Tell us a little bit how it is to work with Justin.
Yes, I adore him. He's wonderful. I can't say enough things about him that are just positive and great. I'm very lucky to be on a team like this. Like I've never had such attentive coaching. I've only had, I think, 2 other coaches prior to this, and they were okay. No bad things there. But once you get with a coach on the level of Justin and like Camp Jensen, that whole team, it's a huge difference. Like that's what people need to be spending their money on. It's good coaching, and just having those things on down pat, because you can't beat it. I think for the most part, we did weekly check-ins for the whole time. Aside from like when we got super close, it was every couple days, every day. He puts a lot of time into his athletes, and he really deserves all the praise for these things. Like I really just follow what he says to do. I ask questions when I need to ask questions, but I've been watching the sport for so long. Like I kind of expect certain things, and I know kind of how it's done.
Well, you haven't watched it for that long if you only knew about bikini a couple of years ago.
You're right. In fact, when I did bikini.
We're getting there. So now, off season, is that like, how do you going to treat this off season? Because I remind you, we've had some girls here before, the national winners and this and that, and they told us they're going to do everything. We don't want to mention names, but then they disappear.
Yeah.
But with you, what's going to be? Are you treating off season like it's prep? Do you have goals in off season? Are you still going to check in pictures? Do you have like? Are you going to get bigger? Do you like to stay lean? Do you like to stay bigger? What's your off season plan? We could say for 2025.
Yeah. So I do already have my reverse plan. I started it yesterday. I had a little fun, like I said, we were done Friday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I had a little bit of fun here and there, fun dinner here and there. But I genuinely love my meal plans. Like I love the food I eat. I love the way it makes me feel, how I can train with it. I do really love the lifestyle. So I have zero intentions of really wavering off of it unless I'm told to.
Yeah.
I really think that's what makes you successful. I don't see any of this as being a sacrifice. I love my plan. I love the lifestyle. I love the sport. So to me, it's a no-brainer. I can't tell you the last time I've only eaten 3 meals a day and have breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like to me, this is just me at this point, which is why some girls have Instagrams too, like a fitness page and a personal page. I've always had just the one page, because to me, bodybuilding is me. It's a huge part of what I do. It's a huge part of me. I've never dreamed of not doing this.
No, good. JB, something you want to know, JB?
Yeah, you took my questions away, but anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah. Is there any hobbies to follow around less than bodybuilding, or it's just your job and working out, or you have some free time, you have pets or something?
Yeah, so I do have hobbies. I do think actually having other hobbies outside of the sport makes you very successful, because it kind of can keep you to compartmentalize things.
Yeah.
And I also think just being a well-rounded human being is very important.
Okay.
Because there will be life after bodybuilding someday, but I'm hoping to do it as long as my body's going to let me do it. So that's 40s, 50s, 60s. I'm going to still be doing it.
Okay.
But I love art and stuff like that. So I do draw, I do paint.
Cool.
I love reading. I love like thrifting. I like vintage stuff. I have a bunch of stuff like that in my house.
Okay, that's cool.
I do have a pet. I have a kitten I got last year. So I guess he's really not a kitten anymore.
Yeah, it's good for social media, kittens and like bodybuilding. So
yeah, I was like, I have so many things that I do love.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard that I don't want to post just bodybuilding stuff.
Yeah.
But I do now, with like how everything is after nationals. I like want to be more open and posting stuff. I've always just kind of done this for me. But now that I know people actually kind of care and want to see stuff, like I'm happy to post stuff.
Yeah. Do you have the artwork on your Instagram? I don't think we've seen any of do you draw or do you paint or what do you do?
All the above. I mostly like pencil, like graphite work, but I do paint. I don't know if I really have any. I'm trying to think, like maybe like in some of the little photo dumps.
Okay.
I have like a picture or 2 in there. I can also send you guys some stuff if you were super curious.
Yeah.
But I do. That's something I've done too since I was probably middle school.
Yeah.
But I just don't talk about it too much.
You should. A lot of the different bodybuilders are you are an artist. You do sculpt your body to what you want to become. So it's natural to have to drawn into arts and cartoons and drawings, and it's very normal, actually, isn't it, JB?
Yeah, it's normal. Yeah. Quite normal. So and it's also be when you're a little bit have a creative side. It's good to also do a sign that you have the mind to step a little bit further or step aside, and yeah, it's a good sign. So when you are creative,
yeah, when you put it that way, it makes sense. I get it.
Yeah.
For 2026, this means now you can't disappear, because now we need some type of YouTube.
And I'd love to try. Oh, I was talking about.
No, not try. It means yes, I'm going to start a YouTube, and all you need is a camera, vlogging, whatever, and it's just to show your life, because in women's physique we don't have any girls doing anything of those type of things, sadly.
Yeah,
I don't think. Have you noticed it?
Camera details. You need to send me what camera I need to get.
So JB is a technical visitor, JB, so you can send her some tips on cameras.
No problem.
Though, Haley, seriously, we don't have any girls in women's physique documenting much.
You're
There's
right.
not much going on, sadly, and people want you're only on stage 2-3 times a year. So we need to see more so people can fall in love with the athlete. So we need to see more. So we need the YouTube, we need some updates, and then we need to know early when you do shows next year, so fans can be involved and be excited to your pro debut. And then we need to see you not only in America, we need to see you do a European show, Haley.
And that would be phenomenal. Like, yes. I've only traveled to Europe, I think, 1 time now, but I love it. And I would love those opportunities to travel to those kind of shows. Like, because why not?
Of course, because
why
it's a
not?
different experience, and fans here, you know, women's physique, when they go in America, sometimes the crowd, they're not even, they're going out because they're looking for a bikini. But in Europe, we're going crazy for women's physique and women's bodybuilding. Here, the passion is sky high. So really, we hope to see you out. But Haley, thank you for letting us get to know you. I think the fans is going to really like you. Fresh, young, new girl who made it right away. And we hope you're going to let fans in to your journey, because it's really hard getting no person. If you just see them on stage and then it goes a year and then you're like, please do something so people can follow your journey, because people are interested.
Yes, and I want to get women's physique back up there again. I think people would really love it if they just saw a different look and maybe a little more femininity and could really see what it has the potential to be. So I really want to be a good advocate for that division.
And to be a good advocate, can we see the abs before we go?
I say, I don't know if I really, they're kind of watery today.
Can we see the abs before you go? It's only been 3-4 days.
I know.
Because you had great abs on stage. We remember it.
I say, I don't know if I have.
JB, she doesn't know she got. No, we can't see. We just see. You gotta,
Yeah, the camera magic.
The camera gotta go down a little bit. Yeah, we can see that.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
There you go. There you go. We can see it.
I was gonna say they're probably not there anymore, but I have.
Still. We still see the muscle.
Yeah.
I say if they're getting back, they need a couple more days.
Thank you very much for your time, and we're gonna keep watching out, and we will stay. Just please do something YouTube, do something cool.
Okay, you send me the camera info. I'm gonna do it.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was an honor talking to y'all.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Welcome. Bye.
Bye.